Yo, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to Heavy Metal Devils. Danny here, giving you some of the latest Manchester United news. And big news, we hit 500 subs last night. But let's keep going. Let's get to 600 ASAP. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button down below and commenting all the transfer news you'd like to see down below. But anyway, let's get into it. We got news about Andre Onana. Looks like he is signing today. We've got takeover news and news about Fred leaving. Yeah. Anyway, let's get right into it. Let's start with Andre Onana. I did mention last night, I think I was one of the few who've mentioned this, that the agreement was in place and agreed. This was a verbal agreement between Manchester United and Inter Milan, but they did have a verbal agreement reached as of last night. What this means is no, the deal is not done yet. That means that there is a few million, most likely haggling the price there. They're just working out the finest details, but the overall deal looks to be complete and set to be announced later today. I fully expect a here we go from Fabrizio Romano sometime today, probably from around the afternoon time, I'd expect. I'm not going to expect any announcement from Manchester United about Andre Onana at all today, this weekend, and potentially not even until Tuesday or Wednesday next week, maybe just as we're leaving for the tour of the United States. But yeah, as reported last night, verbal agreements have been reached. Now, this was also reported from DiMarzio out of Italy, a very reliable source, and we did see Fabrizio Romano tweeting a picture of Onana at his last dinner with the team last night, saying that the deal is set to be completed within hours. So expect that to be fully wrapped up today and him officially signing as a Manchester United player within the next few days. We can't forget that he has to go through a medical and do an entire photo ops before he is announced. But hopefully, we're set to announce him just before we leave for America next week. And that would be a huge signing to get on our preseason tour to embed into this team just before our first kickoff game in about a month or so from now. Yeah, we're approaching the start of the season very, very quickly, and our crucial players need to get in. Um, I also mentioned what's going on with Rasmus Højlund. Not much has changed this morning, but yeah, we're all eyes right now. We're on Andre Onana. Are you excited about this? Comment below. Tell me if you are excited about this deal happening. What's the one thing about Andre Onana you are looking for? Comment below. Let's move on. Some talks this morning about the takeover, and this is all coming out of The Athletic and numerous sources today as well, that there hasn't really been any communication between the Glazers and the bidders for the last 6 to 7 weeks. This is very bad. Well, it appears to be very bad. I have reported over the last few days that the stock prices have been dropping. Everything has been silent. Now, this could point to them kind of finalizing a deal with a potential bidder, but it also is pointing to them actually staying. They just hasn't been any movement. I think a lot of people are starting to now think the Glazers are going to stay. They're only looking for a bit of investment so they can stay onto the club, and it's just becoming. I mean, I'm not saying it's becoming. It's already has been a total and complete shambles. This is insanity. Remember, the club was announced for sale in November. Well, not technically announced for sale, looking for strategic options back in November, but all roads pointed to a sale. We've had numerous people, such as Rio Ferdinand, coming out saying that the sale should be done within days. He's done that twice now, and nothing has happened. So either I'm missing something, or we're all missing something, or we're just being led down the wrong tree here. But yeah, no communication between the Glazers and any of the bidders for the last few weeks. And it's also now being reported through various sources that that Sheikh Jassim could be tempted by other clubs. I think West Ham are in the mix. Tottenham are in the mix for him to potentially purchase if Manchester United does not go through. And that would be very, very bad for us. Yeah, this is looking insane, in my opinion. Um, I just fear what might happen if they are still if the Glazers are still the owners come that first game against Wolves. I think I think protests like we've never seen before need to be in place just in case they are still the owners by that game on that Monday night. We need to voice our voices, I guess. We need our voices to be heard, and the best way to do it is protesting games, get them shut down, don't let them sell any merch, even though that's kind of irrelevant in this whole thing, but don't let that game happen if this sale does not go through by that first game against Wolves. It's getting insanely ridiculous. Yeah, all roads saying that Qatar are still the front runners, but I think people are just getting increasingly worried now that the Glazers are staying on. I've said this on almost every video that I didn't expect this deal to be done until the end of the summer, until after the transfer window. I just it's just the US businessmen are extremely slow in selling these types of things, but I don't think it's ever been this slow. So, yeah. I don't know how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans deal with this. I know they've won a Super Bowl recently, but damn, dude. How are you? I don't know. I don't think American sports fans really give a shit about owners. They tend to not really protest owners that much, but we do. Yeah, this needs to be moved on and solved within the next days, weeks or so, because we're all getting sick and tired of it. Anyway, I'm sick and tired of talking about it. Let's talk about Fred. Lots of news about Fred moving. It looks like he is set to move. He is going to move. There's been numerous clubs. Saudi Arabia have been interested. Fulham have had probably the biggest interest in Fred, but now Galatasaray have been actually been bidding for Fred. And Manchester, according to the U.S. Sun, the People's Person, Metro UK, Man United News, Football 365, Daily Mail, loads of sources. I'll show them all in this video. Manchester United have rejected an opening bid from Galatasaray for Fred, citing that the offer was way below the valuation that they want. I mean, how much below? We're not asking that much. I think we're only asking for 15 to 20 million. So that must have been a terrible offer. And even 15 to 20 million is low, even though he does have only a year left on his contract. But yeah, Galatasaray look to be trying to seal Fred's deal. Isn't that where he was from? Didn't he come from Galatasaray? I think he did come from like a Turkish side. I can't remember. So he looks maybe set to go back to Turkey. But I'm also keeping an eye on Fulham. I know he does want to stay in London, move to London, and maybe play for Fulham alongside Andreas Pereira, Willian, other Brazilians that he is familiar with. But Saudi Arabia is also an option. But I think he fits in with Saudi Arabia quite well. So I'm surprised that there's not more talk about him going to Saudi Arabia. But keep an eye on Galatasaray. That the news is all about Galatasaray, bidding on Fred. But he does seem set to leave within the next few days, next week. We all know he wasn't included in that preseason game against Leeds the other day. And I don't think he will be set to go on tour unless something big falls through. So all signs pointing to Fred leaving this club quite soon, along with Dean Henderson and possibly it looks like Scott McTominay could be going to West Ham. David Moyes is speeding up his attempts to bring Scott McTominay over to London to replace Declan Rice, which apparently still hasn't been announced by Arsenal, and I think the Here We Go was like 10 days ago. So, um, anyway, West Ham stepping up the pursuit of McTominay. I think we could get McTominay and Fred off the books. We can finally end that partnership that we've seen over the last few years. Generate some money to either bring in an Amrabat, to bring in maybe another striker or a defender, whatever Ten Hag wants. So yeah, it looks like our old midfield is completely going out, and the new one is coming in. So yeah, let me know what you think about um, Onana joining today. I want to know what you think about him joining the club and all the attributes he will bring to us. Let me know what you think about this farcical Manchester United takeover that seems to never be happening. Comment about Scott McTominay and Fred below, all the outs you want to see happening as well. And yeah, that's it. That's all I have for you on the news today. And I will see you all on the next one. Oh, yeah. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Let's get to 600 as soon as we can. And I'll see you all on the next one.